Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, good whatever you want to call it is good. I am Myles Sergé alongside the man, the myth, the legend, D-KNOX. And welcome to MS Live. What up, D? What's going on?
Man. Finally, the weather broke. So, because the last whole week, man, it's been hot. Almost 100 every day.
Ooh.
My wife has some family members over from down south. So, today it's just like recuperating after all that. After all the heat, first of all, and then having house guests. You know how it can just, as we getting older, man, it can just take your energy. You be thinking it's nothing, but then after everything's said and done, you're like, damn, I'm tired.
Right. Especially when you get hot, man. It's like kind of getting hot again here. But it's like, in Michigan, man, it's that mugginess. I feel drained, like no energy. And like,
yes, it's exactly the same. What you feeling?
Yeah, like a heavy blanket on my shoulders or something, but I don't know. Yeah, man. Other than that, I'm all good. Just trying to chill, relax, nothing new.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm getting
still full from all the Indian food conversation last Sunday.
Man, that sounds so good.
I'm going to when I'm over there and she's around, she's got to have to cook something.
Yeah. We got to make it happen. Yeah. We definitely got to make it happen. What's this? Early on. What up, Tony? Thank you, man. Thank you. That being said, Tony's in the chat somewhere, so. Well, let's get this show on a roll, y'all. We're here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Don't cost you nothing. Trying to get this viewership up. The time that people watch, the watch hours up and all that. So do us a favor. Hit that button, like, share, and subscribe. We're also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music, just in case you can't see us or happen to miss this. We're there. Go check us out there. Also follow us on Instagram, MS Live with D-KNOX, or on X, formerly known as Twitter, at MS Live with D-KNOX. You can also email us, mslivewithdknox@gmail.com. Use them fingers, y'all. Let us know what you like, don't like, guest suggestions. I think I had a couple of people hit me behind the scenes, like on Instagram, about who we should try to get or not. That's grateful, so greatly appreciate that. But you can almost all the time email us. We'll definitely get it.
Exactly.
As I said before, we are trying to get these numbers up so we can hopefully get monetized, so the show take care of itself. But until then, if you want to help support, you can show us some love by sending us a donation via PayPal to mslivewithdknox@gmail.com, or simply scan that QR code up in the corner. It takes you to the donation page on PayPal. You can set up monthly donations or whatever you want to do. It's there. Scan that QR code. We greatly appreciate it. Today, we are very excited to have this next guest join us today for a nice sit down. I actually had the opportunity, my first opportunity, to meet him roughly around 2012 at Free Rotation Music Festival. Great person, great music, great personality, and he's also a great dancer, y'all. So with that being said, we'd like to introduce to you the one and only Mr. Joey Anderson. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing today?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm okay. Trying to live, man. I'm definitely okay today.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I was really excited to get you on. I think I hit you up a while back, and yeah, you came on, so I'm very grateful for you to be joining us today, man. For sure. If you guys watch the show, or if you haven't checked out the show, we name every episode. This is no different. So what do we have in store for today? MS Live of D-KNOX Season 2, Episode 53. Exotic Sequence with Joey Anderson.
Hey, nice title.
Yeah, nice record, nice album. So when I was doing my research, I didn't even know this was out. You know,
that's crazy.
And I came across it on I believe SoundCloud. And I checked it out. I was like, damn, this is dope. So I wanted to get your insight on the album. So that's my first question. So how did you come about making an album? What was the inspiration and just the overall vibe? Because it's dope. It's really, really dope. And it has this, to me, a nice blend of house kind of techno vibe, but I think more techish to me. But it's dope, man. So give us a little insight on that.
Actually, Q, you know DJ Q. He actually set me up with those guys from that label. I didn't know them too much, but he hooked it up, and I started discussing certain things and with them, and some of the tracks I had, but some of them I worked on, basically I worked with them selecting the tracks, and they put it together, and then it was okay, but so some of those tracks I was sitting on for a while, so just basically combined them with some of the new stuff I was doing at the time, and it kind of glad it worked out, you know.
Yeah, it's really nice. So you guys, if you're listening, go definitely go check this out. Pick it up. It's really dope. I was really impressed. It's really good.
Thank you, man. I think they pressed maybe like 300 or something like that. It wasn't that many, so yeah, that's actually a lot in today's game.
Yep.
I heard that it dropped down to that amount, but I come from the era of 500 or something or more, right?
Right.
So so I was shocked. I'm not always up to par with what's the new trend or whatever, but that's what I heard. They do 300 now. So,
300.
Yeah, for sure, man. So let me get out of here real quick. So like I was saying before, like my first I think my first free rotation I played was like maybe 2010 or 11. I could be off on the dates. So when I went there, like the first person, you went near that year. The first person I met like East Coast wise was Just Ed.
Right.
So, and I think when you on Just Ed's label for a second, didn't you do a release with him?
No, I think that I was on he did like some Japan type thing. No. I think it was something he did. I can't remember what it was, but it was a CD release.
Okay.
And I had a track on there. I was happy as anything to be on that. You know what I mean? Because back then, Ed was doing big things. So. Yeah, it was like some CD. I can't remember what it was for, but it was a CD that he had out, and that was the first time I was on anything Ed, Underground Quality or something like that. It wasn't a record, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that I know I met Ed, and I wasn't familiar with Ed.
Right.
Us being around here, you're Detroit people, maybe Chicago people, and that's really go outside of that. And as far as like New York and the East Coast, it was always like, oh, everybody knew, like, especially on the house side, like Masters at Work. And those people, but I've never who's Ed. I don't know who it is, but people knew who he was. So he kicked, we ended up talking, we kicked it. It reminded me like, and no disrespect, but he reminded me like your cool ass uncle that you had, you know what I mean? So that's my feeling, that he was like real sincere and just kept it real. And I was like, yo, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So the following year I came back, and right before I came back, because when I met my first year, I met a lot of people. at Free Rotation, and one of the
Yeah.
people I met was the Ellis brothers, Joe Ellis and them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had kicked it for a while, and he was like, "Yo, man, you know Joey Anderson?" I'm like, "Nah, who's that?" He's like, "He's from the East Coast. We just signed him for our label,
Yeah.
and this is the first release we're gonna put out on our label, and that label
Yeah.
was Until My Heart Stops." And I
Yeah.
remember when they was getting it ready, and doing all the work to get it ready, and you had came the next year at Free Rotation when they had first did the release. So when I was there, I had got a copy before Free Rotation, I think.
Yeah.
And then you came and I was like, "Yo, this is Joey." And I think we met. I know we talked briefly, but it wasn't like, other stuff was going on. But they ended up playing. I seen your set, and it was like dope. And I was like, "Oh wow, okay, cool." And then the record came out. It was dope, and I liked it.
Thank
Then,
you.
like right after that, from my eyes that I seen, it was like rocket took off. He was everywhere. I was like, wow, he just blew up like out of nowhere. Not to say he wasn't blew up, but I didn't know, but it was everywhere. Joey Anderson. So it went from there. Then the next thing I just seen was like the Deck Mantle stuff. It was like, just blow it up, man. So I was like, wow, this is dope. And the music is dope. It was special. It was unique. And like I said before, it was like, it was house, but it was like, it wasn't your traditional like New York house. To me, it was more techno influence. And it was like, dope, you know what I mean? So I was good to see that, man. So I guess like how did you handle all that? Like the big like trajectory and stuff when it came from there?
First it was like I would like to say, that was really a wonderful experience, the way it was received and shit. Like, yeah, it was really wonderful. But I was just trying to execute and execute what was coming at me. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting to see. To hear how your perspective was, the way you saw it, but yeah, I was just like very happy that everybody was receiving it well and stuff like that. But as far as the way it sounds, I think you hit it the nail right on the head. It's like, I always like try to stay loyal to my house foundation, but try to do a little bit of something a little different, you know what I mean? Like the continuation of it, you know what I'm saying? And but you're right, I was really, really, really busy, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was crazy, but just try to stay founded and keep it moving,
Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. That's funny because it's just funny to hear other artists' perspective at that time. You know what I mean? What? Because it's I was just trying to keep up with what was going on, man. Yeah,
like it was like, to me, it was like, I think at that time like music was everywhere, but I think for me personally, like just your sound and what you was doing, like, you were really carving your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there wasn't too many people doing that. And
I appreciate that.
It was mad different, but it was dope. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that. When I first like was starting off, I was just throwing up tracks on SoundCloud, like 2-3 tracks a day, just throwing them. I don't think you knew me at that point. I don't think you knew me, but I was just throwing tracks up on SoundCloud and stuff, and well, I'm only speaking to that because of when you said carving your own sound. I think that it started for me. Honestly, it started for me throwing up tracks on SoundCloud, testing them out. I did that for a couple of years before my music started getting on labels and stuff. But yeah, man. Yeah.
What was that experience like on SoundCloud for you? Like, Um,
The experience.
yeah, yeah. When you said that you were, you know, just randomly
Yeah,
uploading tracks, sometimes two or three a day.
yeah.
What kind of feedback were you getting from other
I was
artists and
getting,
communities? And
I was getting, I was getting good feedback, like, and it was giving me my confidence, and
mhm.
it was giving me the 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 confidence on experimenting more in this direction or that direction. It was, I mean, some of my friends was like, "Oh, why you keep putting, you don't have to like put a track." But for me, it just it was a good, like it was like my car, it was like my practice paper. Uh,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It was I had fun back then doing that. Yeah.
Do you still do it now?
Nah, man, I finally stopped.
I mean, I don't see what would be wrong with it. You know, I mean,
No,
do you think?
sometimes I think of that. I'm like, but I've heard so much like, yo, well, why you got to put up? You don't need to put, but I think it's just like a canvas to the world. Like I used to love it for that, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
and
Do you think it could still be good now for some people? Like even if you are, let's say, a Jeff Mills or whoever, somebody,
right.
do you think it could be okay to just put a track on SoundCloud and
Oh,
don't release it anywhere else?
definitely,
Just put
definitely
like me.
because
Mhm.
yeah, I think so because to all the fans of artistry and the artistry of producing records, producing electronic music, to the true fans and the people that live it, that live the what you're doing as an artist in the track. To wake up one day and go to SoundCloud and Jeff Mills puts a piece of something of his that that may give you the inspiration that you need to a fan. You know what I mean? So I don't.
Right.
I think that that's pretty cool. I always thought SoundCloud was awesome for that easy access to people. Um, and and for people that are not big artists, that are just I'm an artist that come from my home, my home studio. I
Mhm.
think that is one of the biggest tools. I think SoundCloud, and well,
Mhm.
there's other ones now, but years ago, SoundCloud was real, the one of the main ones.
Yeah, because they have the groups. You can share. You
Yeah,
can follow other people. You
yeah,
can you can really go. I mean, I found a lot of people on there too, and I had thought
yeah.
about as well as using it because I pay for that service, and it's not that
Oh yeah,
cheap.
yeah,
But that's
yeah.
because
I
I want
mean,
to. That's when I want to be able to upload what I want to. But I often thought, it might not be a bad idea to make music just specifically for, like, say, for example, SoundCloud or
yeah,
YouTube or for Bandcamp, and like you don't have to be releasing everything everywhere, but you
Mhm.
could
yeah,
just make music specifically for SoundCloud and start some kind of groups there. So
yeah.
I
I
was just
mean,
wondering,
yeah.
in your, in your day as of today, would you still think it's a good idea to continue doing that with SoundCloud, using it in a
I
way?
mean, again, it's a music based medium.
Mhm.
So I mean, people use it for all types of reasons, but
Yeah.
some people look at you as an artist and then like, well, why are you throwing up you already known, you already established. Why are you putting up tracks like that? But for the art's sake of it, for the or for getting known and for networking, I say why not?
Yeah.
You know, as long as it's for positive means, why not? And
Yeah.
um, it's on the opposite of that. You have large companies and labels that's like, okay, this is coming out now by this artist, and then it's always in your face. It
Mhm.
makes you think that something major is happening, But so I think the opposite of that is like having an independent medium where you could just be networking, doing your thing,
Yeah.
sharing music with it, So I still think it's wonderful format.
Yeah. It's a great tool.
Yeah.
So then, with that being said, because you're saying what you had been doing in the past, could
Mm.
you give our audience a taste of your life? What was life like for you growing up
Yeah.
back then, and the day to day, and what is life like for you now, the day to day?
Well, of course, back then, I was a little kid in the 80s, in the 80s. I'm from the projects, you know what I mean, and it was wonderful, man. It was it was the graffiti, it was the breakdancing, the popping,
Oh
the
yeah.
Michael Jackson, the Michael Jordan, the Mike Tyson. This is the 80s, Um, uh, it was just wonderful, man. I feel like as far as things you could absorb in culture and things like that, uh,
But what were you
yeah.
doing? Like, I'm just curious. Like, were you
I
engaging
was
in this
I was a
breakdancing?
yeah, I was a young kid. I was a athlete. I played sports a lot,
Okay.
but right after that, I was totally like caught up with what was going on musically and graffiti wise and popping and break. I was always interested in that. So I always tried to stay connected to people when I was young that was dancers and people that drew graffiti and stuff like that. And
Right.
I mean later in life when I mean much later in life it was like an explosion between both because yeah, I mean from going to clubs it starts to affect you as an athlete. You know what I mean? As playing sports and things. So, but that of course that was much later. But yeah, it was wonderful the whole evolution of the music, like being connected to that and a lot of my cousins was into like house music when I was like 12, 13, and 14, and I was like on top of them trying to figure out where's this music coming from, where's this thing coming from, and then eventually I made my way to Manhattan, and that's how I found the club. You know what I mean? The underground clubs, and
What
it
was the
just
first
went from
club?
there.
What's the first
Huh?
club? What was the first club you went to?
In New York,
Yeah.
the first club I think that's a good question. I think it gotta be Sound Factory with Junior Vasquez. I think I was like 14 or 13, something like that. No, 14. I
Oh wow.
think. Yeah, yeah. Because back then they didn't ID you. You just had to look like you was part of the underground scene. You had to dress a certain way,
Right. Right.
and they picked you to get in the clubs back then. And from the first time I went, I was hooked. It was like I got bit by a vampire. I was hooked,
Oh
and
wow.
but I was like into the dancing. You know what I mean? I come from the dance culture. More than the DJ pump your fist work.
Right. Right.
I mean, yeah. So it was the dancing that really like that took me, and it was a beautiful time because I noticed that like a lot of the people that were in the clubs, they were from all the boroughs. They were from Queens, the
Mhm.
Bronx, Brooklyn, Jersey. Like it was like a big young movement of the club era. It was like amazing. And the dances was just next level, man. And that's what really took me on my journey for most of my life after. I don't know if I answered your question, but I mean, till now, as opposed to now, it's like I'm older now. I don't really like club that much. I mean, I go to clubs like when I gotta play and stuff, or I go to check out a friend. But yeah,
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned something I was going to ask you, so you kind of led into it. So for those of you that don't know, um, which I didn't know until later, years later after I met, because somebody had posted something. Um, Joey and Q, you guys are dancing, the dance,
right,
like famous like
yeah,
house dancers, and I didn't really know when people were like saying, "Oh yeah, they're house dancers or house dancers." So I like, what is they just danced, or it was house dancing. So somebody told me, explained me to me what it was.
Right.
You know, back over here, if you from Detroit or Chicago, you got the juke and the jit. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
So I was like, oh, so they like juke and the jit. And he was like, no, it's not that. It's a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
So I seen the videos, man, and I just started watching it. And
Yeah.
I'll have you explain it. But from what I seen, it's like nice. I won't say it's really slow, but it's all like fluid movement.
Yeah.
Like y'all just going with the music, and it's just whatever you
Yeah.
feel. It's like mad fluid. So I seen this, I was like, damn, that's pretty dope, you know. And I see y'all. It's just it's beautiful. Just
Yeah.
and you
That's
know what I mean?
nice, man. You say that. You know, it's the art form that it's the art form that I fell in love with the
Mhm.
most. You know, and I was able to I was able to see it and then pursue it and then become a part of it. And basically, it's like, you know, we always talk about this, me and Q, and but you know, we believe that, you know, it comes from the New York club, like going back to the disco era. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? From the disco era until the, like, what they call the loft era, or the club, the loft, with Mancuso, DJ Mancuso, and the style of dancing the people was doing there. You know, it really got, like, started to get defined like that. You know, and then later on, you know, I think like the the hip hop and breaking type dance kind of like blended with it,
Mhm.
and then it became what it became for New Yorkers. And then guys, certain other guys that were influential and helped pioneer it around the world. Uh, but we were lucky to see. We were young enough to grab a hold, like Khalif Sellers and Ejo and Voodoo Ray, and I could go on and on and on. But some of them in the early '80s were able to pioneer it and start bringing it around the world. But those were the guys we were seeing when we were going into the underground clubs. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
but then you, you know, this was a major. I think Lenny touched upon it slightly, but
Mhm.
it was a major club scene in New York, like, you know, in the '90s and the '80s and into the 2000s, where you had clubs like the Red Zone, Mars, the Tunnel, uh, Sound Factory. Later on, Sound Factory Bar, the World, the Building, the Choice. You know, these were major influential clubs in Manhattan that all these dance styles were able to, like, flourish and develop. You know what I mean? And
Right.
yeah. Well, you see now it's like around the world, everywhere
Right.
now. You know, yeah.
So how did you
So
get to
yeah,
to that point? Like you, I'm assuming at some point, like I said, the things I've seen, like I seen you did the little showcases, like videos and stuff.
yeah,
And I seen like you and Q like out in Japan. And I
yeah,
seen
yeah.
videos like,
So
wow, they're do
yeah,
showcasing them in these big, I won't say arenas, but like,
yeah, they were humongous back
you know
then.
what I
It was
mean?
like,
Y'all doing your thing. So how did all
yeah,
that come about?
yeah. So I remember it might have been 90, 95, 96. Well, previous to that, like 94, 93, I was teaching dance classes at the studio in New York called Faisal Studios. Most of the guys that was like that had a name from New York, they were teaching there, and I had got a little name in the scene, and I started getting these students or these people from Japanese asking for me. They were coming from Japan asking for me, so I made a little name for myself around that time, and around that time, I think Q had worked with this guy called Brian Green,
Hmm.
one of the dopest ones I've seen too, and I knew Q from like seeing him at the clubs, but we didn't know each other when we were real young. You know what I mean? Like, and
Now, is Q from Jersey too, or
Q's from Jersey, yeah,
okay?
yeah. So we would see each other passing through the clubs and everything back then, but we didn't like really talk. But this guy Brian Green, around '97, it was '97 or '98. He was like, he came to me and was like, "Oh, you should go to Japan. They asking for you, blah 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 blah." So he put together like a little a show and a whole thing to go there. And when we went to the studio to practice, Q was there, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I didn't even know Q was like dancing like that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's when we first started like practicing together there, like for that show that we went, and yeah, that was the first time. But what I wanted to say was, from the early '90s, very early '90s, this dance was making a major impact in like places like Japan, China. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the techno world knows this story like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
honestly, But it made, how Detroit techno made an impact in Berlin and Germany.
Yeah.
Well, the house dancing in New York made an impact sort of like that in Japan, like in the early '90s. And so like by the time I went, there was guys going. They were doing shows there regularly and stuff like that. But it was already like a industry going on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. You gotta check these videos if you haven't seen it, because
I mean, there's a lot of videos. The other guys, the other guys was, I got a lot of respect for some of the pioneers that I was seeing that was doing it before, that I look up to, and yeah, they made a major impact in that dance thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So if you had to choose like between dancing and music, you couldn't have both. In a world you couldn't have both. Which way you think you would lean towards more?
That's a difficult question, man, because I mean I don't dance no more. Like we were talking earlier about, I'm not trying to be sweating in no club like that.
Get out there and dance, man.
Nah, I just had knee surgery too, like 2 years. There's no way. But I think that it that creative that creative itch that we have, that creative desire. I think that I had it with dancing, and then it kind of went into music. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like to me mentally inside, I don't like to separate the two. Okay. To me, it's just fulfilling that creative drive and desire I have, So that's a hard question, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
I do have a question for you about your. Go ahead.
I wanted to say that when I saw you at Free Rotation, I remember I was like walking around checking everybody out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, this is like, this is me. And then I was going from there to there to there to there to there. Remember, I don't come from that so-called techno world. You know what I'm saying? Like for us, techno is deep house for us. Good techno is deep house to us, right? Mm. So I'm moving around, right? And then I hear something from a room to the way I look at it to the left, and I'm like, what is that? So I go in there and I'm like, this dude is killing this shit in here, right? So I'm in there and I'm like, damn, he should be in the other room right now. So I'm listening, and that's when I went up to you. Remember when I went up to you, DJ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you was on some stuff there, and I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But that was my experience meeting you.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good place. I can tell people, like, if you haven't gone to Free Rotation in any capacity as an artist or even as a person going there, just go, because to me that place is a special place where you're able to get close and
Special,
personal
man.
with people. You know what I mean?
Straight special, yeah.
Good for like, especially like networking and stuff like that, and just knowing people. Like, it's one thing is like to see somebody, but it gives you the opportunity to actually talk and like, you know, get a better understanding of the artists and there's just people in general. So
yeah, man.
Possible, man. Like from
the location,
and all that. You know what I mean?
the experience, the people.
Yeah.
Stevie O and Susie and Joe and them and Leaf. It was like wonderful for me, man. Wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D, you was about to ask a question, D?
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you, Joey. For somebody that don't know you and they're just kind of discovering your music, you know, for the first time, how would you describe what you do without using any kind of genres or anything?
I try to take pieces of what's already out there and just elaborate on it slightly. And yeah, that's the best. That's the best way I can do. I don't want to copy nobody. I just want to take a piece and keep going over here or over there, and always leave the listener like something else is gonna happen on his next release. I gotta hear his next release because, you know what I mean, like that. Yeah, that's the best way, man, I can describe.
So when you're working on music, do you got like a system? Do you start? How do you start? Maybe with drums, melody, or you just kind of like random?
Years ago, when I was first I started working on tracks kind of like late in my life, I would say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I would just have that kick going. I remember when I got my first software, the kick was just driving me crazy. I was like, oh man, whatever, right? I don't know about you guys, but you know. And then I was, you know, start the kick and then start looking for some pad or whatever, and then go from there, you know. Now it's I learned so many things now. I could just have I could have just noise going on and I could do something, you know what I mean? Like it's yeah.
So do you think because I see you got a lot of equipment back there.
Oh yeah.
Just looking behind you, I see that Korg up there.
Oh yeah.
Do you think limitations, for example, like just using only a few machines at a time, you think that could actually make people more creative? Yes. I know some people, they tend to use everything, but like you had to, like, looking at your studio, could you make a full, what could you use behind you to make it like a full song?
Well, you have there's multiple things here, but there's one thing that I had for a long time, and I actually bought it again recently. Mm-hmm. But I had it for a long time, and it's on a lot of my tracks, some of my tracks. But it's the Korg, the micro Korg.
Oh yeah, that thing is.
Yo, that thing is like. Let me tell you something, man. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think they thought that it would. I don't think they thought it would be that successful, because I think it's one of their most selling instruments. But it's easy to use. It's quick to get to like good things, and it sounds good in anything else you're doing. Mm-hmm. But I used it for a while, because I didn't have a lot of gear before, and I had that. But it just gave me an extra sauce, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think that the less you have, the better you could, the better everything works out. I mean, when I first started off, I had a Roland D2, and I used that like a little bit in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I think I think the tracks came out that I was doing back then, I think they came out more better, more complete, and I got better at it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when you have a lot of gear, you tend to like, oh, let me turn this on. Oh, yo, let me turn that on. Oh, let me
Right.
turn. And you wind up like sitting there like, oh, it's not doing what I wanted to do. Well, of course not. If you got six senses like sitting, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
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 But me, sometimes I just collect or I'll just play with one and then add a little bit of this. I learned kind of a thing where like not to always try to do my best, but try to fulfill something in music that at the moment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
yeah. So that's where I kind of might go to different ones or use multiple ones when I'm in that mode. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I had to ask because I saw all that stuff behind you.
There's a lot of stuff back there. I'm peeping it.
Yeah.
No, I got it's a little bit going on in here. It's a little bit, you know. Um, yeah, I felt like I like to collect them. I like to get inside that. Sometimes you get lost, man.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But
Trust me, I know. I was telling Miles I recently gone back to just the dog because I always, of course, I started off with gear like everybody,
yeah,
and I sampled my whole studio back in Kalamazoo. Then I went straight Fruity Loops because I built a computer. And then
yeah,
when I built it up, then I said, okay, it's all my samples anyway. Then
yeah,
I, did that for a while, and then okay, and I jumped back into gear, and then again back in the computer with
yeah,
Ableton, and then I came back to gear again,
yeah,
and now I'm just pretty much on the in the DAW and on the iPad,
yeah.
so it's just I honestly, yeah, on the computer I seem to get things done faster, quicker,
Of course.
and it's the
Yeah,
same sound. But also when I had the hybrid system, when I have the gear and the computer,
yeah,
it is too. But I understand your point of where you have this temptation that I got to turn everything on, and because my whole thing is I bought it, I paid for it, so
yeah.
I have to use this thing instead of.
Well,
There's been times I turned on just a 909 and then the like Behringer Pro One or
right,
something, and I had a track already right then and there. But my
right.
mind was like, "Nah, you bought that, that rolling thing, so you got to turn that on too,
Yeah,
and then turn on the other thing." I'm like, well, I'm just overcomplicating this
yeah.
the
You know,
system. Hmm.
I and as I was going through these transition periods,
Hmm.
I found different ways of doing things, and one thing I realized is that the whole path on discovery,
Hmm.
and I've started falling in love with that. Like for example, the hybrid system. You can say I'm basically like I have a hybrid system. I use
Yeah,
the
you do.
software, and then
Yep.
I sprinkle like hardware things all over it. You
Yep.
understand?
Yep.
And but that's one mind frame, right? That's one mind frame. Then I
Yep.
learned to juggle my other mind frame with, okay, I gotta get my inventory up on finished tracks. Then I'll just do maybe software, and I'll record them and I'll just build my track count up. But
Yeah.
I try to separate the mentalities on and keeping in mind that I can get an end result out of both,
Mhm.
and they can, and also they can have their different textures because of that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Can you I wanted to go back for a second. So you yeah, I know you have your own label. I'm gonna come to that, but before I hit that question,
Yeah.
um, you have a can you tell me tell us about your relationship with Dick Mantle? Because I know you have a lot of releases on there, a couple of
Yeah.
albums. And I
Yeah.
know I've seen, like, I've never been. I know they do a festival. I've never been, but I always hear things about it. And I know you played
Yeah. They
numerous
just
songs.
had one, I think, right?
I
They just
believe,
had one.
I
Yeah.
believe so. So, can you tell us how that relationship with them came about?
Yeah. What was it? You remember MySpace, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Comeback. They're trying to make a comeback.
Yeah.
Right. So I believe, because it's been a while now, I believe like the owners of the label at that time, or one of them, like followed me on MySpace. But back then, I didn't really know. I don't know where their label was. I didn't know he was a label owner. I didn't know they had a label or something like that, right?
Mhm.
So, but years later, I don't know what year. It might have been. I really don't remember the exact year. I just know. I think Levon Vix. You remember the? I don't know if they still do it, but is it Fabric?
Yeah.
Fabric was releasing the CDs. Like, remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So my man Levon Vincent had did one, right? He did one for them. And I had 2 tracks on there. Right around that time is when I think one of them wrote me. After that time. I don't know what year it was, but yeah, he wrote me asking me, "Oh, I think your stuff pretty cool. Would you be interested?" And I was hungry back then, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
real hungry.
Right.
So I just went with it, and it wind up turning a relationship that turned into 2 LPs, maybe 4, 3 or 4 EPs. Yeah, it just went like that. I had a good time with them,
Mhm.
and they really, I mean, they brought me everywhere, at that time,
Mm.
and basically that's how the relationship started. Yeah, I think the first release EP I did was Fall Off. No, was it? Was it Fall Off Face? It was Fall Off Face was the first
Yeah,
EP.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And after that, we worked on my album. I think I did an album with them. After Forever was the
Mhm.
first album. Then it was a couple more, maybe a couple more EPs, maybe 1 or 2 more. I can't remember, but yeah. Then I eventually did another LP with them, Invisible Switch, and yeah, man, it was pretty cool, man. I always appreciate the work I did with them, and them doing what they did for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Fallout Face. It came out on Discogs like 2013.
Yeah.
That's that's it. That's what the deal for sure. And then the albums were 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
And I think you had one more on there. It's quite a bit though, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then you at around the same time, roughly, you started your label.
Yeah, I think I can't remember now when I started my label, but that was kind of, I think, earlier than that. But yeah, man, I was thanks, for with the help of like because back then it was like DJ Just Ed, DJ Q, Anthony Parasol,
Oh, Anthony.
Levon, yeah, Levon Vincent. Those are the guys I was like looking up to at the time. I was coming up under them, and they were basically like, I was like, I'm ready to start my label, and they was like, this is what you got to do. This is whatever. They kind of like guided me through that. And my first EP was Organisms. It was called Organism. I think I had Q
Yep.
on that one.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, that your first, I mean, being associated with them, kind of helped to the success of that one, I
Mhm.
think. And that was a really nice release. It was, you know how it is when a record gets in a record store and they're like, wait a minute, who is this? And then
Right.
it's like this underground record that people like, and they talk, you're like, yo, check this dude out. You know what I'm saying? Kind of was like that. And that was really very, very nice for me. And I did it with the dude. Matter of fact, I did it with the dude in Chicago. I think I pressed that in Chicago.
Okay.
The guy passed away like a couple of years ago. I can't think of his name right now, but he passed away a couple of years ago. But I pressed it in Chicago, my first release. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, was it Paul Johnson or
not that one.
Tim Baker?
Nah, there was another guy. He was pretty well known in that field and stuff. And yeah, I think he might have pressed my first two records actually, my first two releases. Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. But if I look around and find some paperwork, I can find it. But yeah, I remember because like after a while, some cats was like from over here was like, "Yo, why you pressing your tracks over there and not in Brooklyn?"
Observable.
Yeah, but I eventually switched to Brooklyn, but yeah, I can't think of his name right now, man. I will have to look, but it was cool because it was cool. It was a cool experience, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man, for sure.
Yeah, but Deck Metal now they're like their events are like crazy. You know what I mean? And that was another thing, and they started bringing me to parties they were doing first,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
then
cool.
I was doing little parties with them, and then the festivals began, and they started bringing me to the festival, and I'm gonna tell you a quick story that was funny. My first time going to Deck Metal Festival playing, I forgot where I was supposed to play because they have like certain areas they got names, like they got the UFO tent, and then they have the green stage, and then they have the main stage, something. So I was supposed to play at one stage, and something happened where it like rained or something. So they brought me in the tent, and I think the UFO tent or something like that. And I played there, and I people like was going nuts, like and shit, right? But playing that day at that tent, it kind of like the feedback kind of like helped me propel me forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but I wasn't supposed to play there. It was because of the rain. I was able to go in the tent, and then everybody went in the tent. So that was I think Jay Daniel was there that year. That year there. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad that you kind of touched on playing at the festival. So,
Yeah.
like, when you DJ, right? Like, what's the goal? Are you like, I think most DJs, but some don't. But are you like trying to like tell or create like a particular mood or a particular story with the music that you're playing, or are you just like, yeah, I'm just playing music?
No, I definitely try to create a story with the electronic means, right? So, but I also like I'm kind of playing for myself in that realm,
Right.
and trying to bring you along the course of my idea and what I'm trying to say. Basically like that, and hopefully the crowd can get it. And that festival at that time, I haven't been there in some years, but at that time, it was definitely a place to be. It was definitely an event, and a festival for you to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
It was the energy and the atmosphere was heavy about being creative and being real with how you get down. It was like people wanted that, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So kind of like free rotation is like that too. Like, I don't know about now, but back then, it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like that, like there's been to me like a shift, not like actual gigs that I may have or may have not played, but just the things that I see. I think a lot of people, it's all about like just really being seen.
Really?
A lot of people aren't really there for the music for the most part.
Okay.
It's just like it's kind of sad, but and maybe I'm just generalizing. I don't know, but from what I noticed, like I'm always seeing somebody with a phone. I'm seeing people doing selfies.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
seeing like
yeah.
the background. It's like, oh, this is where I'm at, but yeah, forget that. That's just background music. It didn't used to be like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
to me, it used to be like if I went to go see a DJ, like if I was going to see you or somebody, that I wanted to see, I wanted to go to see them play.
Mm.
I wanted to experience what they are trying to project to me. You know what I mean? Not just they're curating their own journey, their own song, like you do, like you said you do. But I think a lot of people don't really care about that no more. It's just kind of like just here.
Mm.
You know what I mean, or whatever. So it puts, like at one day, I don't know if I'm throwing any more parties, but I like at the time when DBS1 was doing this whole thing about you don't see the DJ.
Remember? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so it was just like you there, you in a room, there's music, you have no clue, or he's behind the screen or
Right.
hidden, and it took the focus away from the whole like I'm a star on DJ and all this and that.
Absolutely.
And I think it should go back to that. Go back to not saying that it's always that, but I see it fair enough that people really don't pay attention, and I don't want it to see it like it gets to the point where you just got somebody in the back like streaming or playing a CD, something. You know what I mean? Then what's the point? So, but I'm glad.
It's funny you say that because when I started going to parties as a young teenager in the late '80s into the early '90s, I didn't. The scene that I come from,
Mm-hmm.
it really wasn't about a DJ. It was about if that DJ played the shit, played the stuff, and if he played the stuff, then he was part. He was looked at as he's down. He's part. He knows what's under. He's underground. He's true underground. It wasn't like he was worship.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it was like the dancers were looked at as the stars, not the DJ. You understand what I mean? That was the scene I come from. But also to add what you were saying back then, the DJs was like up away from the crowd. Like you couldn't see them. You really couldn't see them. You might see a little head, but people weren't looking at that. They were too busy mingling with each other on the floor. Like, so, yeah.
Yeah. And then what else? Oh, okay. Yeah. We do have a question. To Joey, any other influence to his music other than dancing? Thinking of the movie posters in the background. So, but I also was thinking of any books or maybe comics, etc. So I guess the question is like, do you have any other influence other than dancing about music?
Yeah, I'm big on ancient history, very big on ancient history, and the controversial ancient history. I'm big on it.
Okay.
All my releases have something to do with a book. Actually, if you like go beyond this, if you go look at the titles, if you go look at some of the artwork with my releases and some of the titles, and I think I got a little bit lost on Bandcamp. I'm just putting up like movie themes at this point, you know what I mean? But yeah, books. I think books is probably one of the most number one at things that influence me besides dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, movies. There's certain movies, but I would have to say books is really the thing that inspired me. Yeah.
Yeah. I see the Blade Runner.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a dope. It's a dope one, right?
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, I kind of. I became since COVID. I became like a big listener and fan of Vangelis. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of like been feeding myself for inspiration. Some of his work and things that he was involved in. He did the soundtrack for that, as you probably know already. But yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we saw that.
Come on, we all know that, man.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? We have all of this stuff in our psyche because we were raised off it, right? These movies and stuff. But it was not until I got older did I think about the things that made everything that made the movie, like the art, the soundtrack guy who scored the soundtrack. But I didn't think it until I got older. It just took me on this like whole other thing mentally. It's like, wow, you know what I mean? You appreciate the art and stuff like that.
Right.
I tell you one thing I thought about with Star Wars that I had questioned it. I said because you know whose voice they used for Darth Vader,
right?
And I thought to myself, if they never would have got that man's voice for Darth Vader, how Star Wars would have even
blew up the way it did, right?
You know what I mean? Like that voice, because I heard the original voice for Darth Vader.
You heard the original?
They said it's like some English white dude or something. It just sounded, it didn't match his character at all.
Yeah.
But for James Earl Jones to do that, I'm just thinking that, like as you said, that's just a sound because you never saw him. That was just his voice. So that sound itself made this whole day. That's why you have even all these spinoffs and everything. Because I just imagine if he didn't have that voice, what would Star Wars would have been?
If you got a nice TV on your computer where it's connected to speakers, monitor, just with the mindset, just play Star Wars with Darth Vader's talking and listen to that voice. That it's almost like the speakers are like going.
Oh wow!
That's voice alone that you could be like, oh my god, you could start a track off like that, straight up.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think, like you said, we have all this stuff in our psyche from the 80s. Because you mentioned the 80s, and I know the 80s had a heck of a lot of
the best period, man.
Okay,
the best
music alone. You remember VHS, like watching that on Friday nights, videos. Yeah, and not just like rap or whatever. I was watching everything, rock, jazz, whatever. But from 8 to like 11 o'clock, 3 hours ahead, just random videos. And also, when you think about TV shows in general, just like you go Different Strokes, whatever, to
the Jeffersons,
Family Ties,
Ties.
Buffalo, but what you talking about, Willis? All this.
A lot of color, man.
Florida,
not do my shows, but I think the interesting thing that I was just watching because I've been at work, so. We can't have headphones or earbuds in, but we can do the bone conductor things, right? So I'm working. I can't really watch I say I watch podcasts like even ours, but I'm actually listening to them. They're playing because I can't watch it because I'm working, right? So sometimes I'm just doing my job. Like if I'm got on YouTube, it's just like random stuff. Just one thing can get done and it'll play something else, right? So last week, and I forgot all about all these shows, right? It was playing something, and they were talking about Airwolf.
Oh.
So they talking about the whole premise of the show, but then when it came on, they actually played the theme song for Airwolf. And I'm like, damn, that's dope. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And then again, the next one they had was Knight Rider.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I just thought about the whole thing about the music, and they have a lot of tools.
That's dope stuff.
Yeah, they just expressing themselves, experimenting with stuff, and they kind of said the Knight Rider thing. The guy actually, when he did it, like the riff and the stuff was playing, it was on accident. He made a mistake. He was trying to do something else.
Wow.
And he did something and it just stuck and he just went with it. So
wow.
Like if he didn't make that mistake, everybody knows that damn song. You know,
right.
Making dope, you know what I mean? But to go back when you were talking about the 80s was like, that was everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, is to not have the things we have now. It was special effects, but it wasn't like computer stuff.
It wasn't over the top, just simple.
Yeah, and it made sense. It was good with the music, the styles, and just everything. 80s was the shit, man.
'80s.
Yeah, we're fortunate not to, I mean, even grab a big old cereal bowl on Saturday morning,
Oh yeah.
cartoons from 8 to 12, soggy Captain Crunch, a big old bowl with milk, the peanut butter one or the Crunch Berries or whatever. Watching whatever you watch, Fat Albert in the Gang, the Smurfs, or whatever you watch during the, on Saturday. But as you said, when I go back and sometimes when I watch some of that stuff on YouTube and I listen to the music, I'm just like you said, Myles. I'm like, wow. Like if I dig up an episode of Transformers or let's say G.I. Joe, Thundercats or Voltron or something, I'm listening for the music and I'm like, they did not have what we have now even then, but they were making awesome stuff.
Exactly.
You look at someone like Prince. It wasn't like that back then. He didn't have the stuff we have now, but he was playing everything and making. But that music sounds great. It's timeless, especially the Purple Rain stuff.
Yeah, all of that,
right.
Prince.
Yeah. Who's your favorite artist?
Yeah.
Besides yourself.
No, not by no means. I gotta say my favorite artist is it's like Miles Davis, Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Right there. It's right there, and then Prince. And then Larry Heard, somewhere right there.
Okay.
But I would have to say Miles Davis, Stevie Wonder, like right there. Yeah.
Who's the number one? You got to pick. If you got to pick one, who would you?
Can you feel the suspense?
I would say Miles Davis.
Word.
Yeah, it's hard because it's hard, but I say Miles Davis because he comes before Stevie Wonder. And once you really get it, when we get the music, once we get it, it's Miles Davis. His melody. I'm a melody person, and I think melodies define music. And his melodies is very unique, and he has many things. He could go into many. He has gone into many genres, and his melodies just stand out. It's Miles Davis.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to roll with Prince if it's for me. I'm just a Prince. I grew up listening to him and Michael Jackson. In the car with mom. But I just think when I overall looked at it, I was like, okay, if I had to, I would just roll with him because it's got a little bit more rougher. It's probably like the same. If I had to choose McDonald's or Burger King, I like McDonald's, but I'm probably going to go with Burger King, just for the onion rings and the strawberry shake. But with Prince, it's just, I don't know. He probably because he was playing every instrument, and maybe that movie had something to do with it. The movie he made.
That movie.
I'm going to tell you a story about that movie, man.
About
Purple Rain.
Okay.
Prince, like, I'm a Prince fanatic, but I think my older sister, I don't know how old I was, but it had just came out. Purple Rain came out. So my older sister took me and my cousin to 42nd Street, right? I think we might have been like 12 years old or some shit, right? Me and my cousin was terrified when we came out of the train station. You know how 42nd Street used to be?
I don't. Actually.
It was like 42nd Street in New York back then was like, what can I say? What's the movie Escape from New York? You know that movie?
Okay, yeah, yep.
That's how 42nd Street was, that area. It was like lawless. And me and my cousin was terrified, man. And my older sister's a little like, she's a little. So she took us to this movie theater, yo. Me and my cousin was so scared. We was sitting in the same chair, man.
Oh wow.
And the movie came on. It was Purple Rain. That was the first time I saw that movie, man. We were like 12 years old. And from then, I was like a Prince fanatic, you know what I mean? From then.
Yeah.
I remember, because we were into hip-hop at that time. Rap music was out, you know what I mean? We was like,
right.
And when that came out, like, everybody was like, wait a minute, what's that? Even straight up hip-hop guys was like, oh, this guy's interesting, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Crazy.
I mean, he's the only guy that I've been able to separate the music from his. Because, like you said, we all hip hop dudes. If you watch, I mean, if you're looking at how Prince dressed, I don't care about how he's dressing or what he's doing. I don't care about the album where he's almost naked or whatever. I don't care if he could be, said this way or that way. That doesn't matter to me. It's just like all about about the music. And I think a lot of people that you basically respect him for the music, and they don't even look at what he's doing, because personally I think he's also doing that to dare to be different, like part of his artistry. Right. If I listen to some of those interviews on like Vlad TV when Morris Day was talking about him, he was like, that dude is like masculine. This stuff is just kind of like a show,
an act or whatever. It's all a show. In his wide brain, I tried looking for every interview he ever did, anything he ever talked about. Mm-hmm. I never uncovered any interview where he explained why he dressed the way he dressed. Yeah. He never explained it.
Nope.
That was just part of his show, like that part of his.
Yeah.
And then the thing about it is, I really think like nobody really cared.
Nobody cared.
So it's just Prince. You know what I mean? He gonna do what he gonna do, whatever. With the music's dope.
And I like his approach to interviews, because I remember on a prior show we had our homie on, Roberto, and we were mentioning, we were talking about something like, do you care what fans have to say, or people like maybe what a magazine might write about you. Yeah. And I was thinking like, I always use, would Prince care? Would someone wrote about him in a magazine, or if someone said something negative? No, he would just. Prince just gonna make music. You know what I mean? So I said to anybody out there listening, someone writes something negative in a magazine, or someone says something about you or something, because you can have an off night DJing, and it might not be your fault. It could be the turntables or the system just isn't right, and it seems like it's your fault. And then all of a sudden, someone's online, oh, he sucked, but it totally wasn't your fault. Just whatever. Just keep showing up, doing what you got to do. Think that's what I like, his mentality on that point of, I truly don't care. I'm just making music as much as I can make, So,
I think that one for me is like, I look at him in different facets, and like one facet is the guy was using drum machines, effects machines, synthesizers they were using. I think that's why his music kind of is like so relevant today, because everything we use, he was using it. You know what I'm saying?
He's like for sure.
Right? And he has a romantic side. He has a romantic side with relationships. He's singing. You can't mess with him, man. The guy's a musician. He's all over like things,
Yeah.
I
mean, to be honest with you, that's the reason why I started looking into that Lin drum.
Oh yeah,
because I heard he used it. I was like, he did. That was a unique sound. So I remember I came across some awesome samples a long time ago of almost every drum machine
Yeah.
that's ever existed. And so from a Polish guy over here that was a mastering guy.
Yeah.
He was like, I got the sample pack, and I was just, dang, you got every drum machine. These were great samples, but I was like, okay, I got to go straight for that Lin drum because just because I know Prince uses it, so let me just see what I can, just hear it. I haven't really used it like on any of my productions, really. Maybe just a rim shot or something like that.
Yeah.
But I did. I like that option in Ableton or even on an iPad that you can create your own drum racks and just put those samples in there.
Yeah,
which is good.
He had that Lin drum with that flanger on it. He had and that creates almost half the track for you because the sound coming off, the nuance in the sound is like, come on, man, he way ahead of his time, way ahead of his time.
Yeah. Most of them guys like him, they were, and I like him. I could think of a lot of people back in Kalamazoo that were like him. They were musicians like him. They weren't rap artists or techno guys, but I knew a few guys in Kalamazoo that can make anything. Like they could make straight up underground techno, house music, or they can make rap music, R&B, or even rock. And they just were this talented, but they never went anywhere. They just still in Kalamazoo even now, and they still have some. They still even have some gear, But they just, but their mentality is even far beyond mine. And sometimes I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm the one I've left out of Kalamazoo. Like my cousin, I traveled the world, been many places, and I'm still living in Europe. But I'm like, there's a lot of guys there in Kalamazoo that I'm sure has an even farther mindset. They have the foresight even farther than mine, but they're still there.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel blessed, not take everything. Okay, I'm blessed. I'm thankful for what I have because there's a lot of dudes, man. That there's one guy now. Even I went to high school with this guy. Just a quick story. He's Mexican, and he had two brothers. One brother was like a basketball player. Everybody knew him, and the other brother was a hip hop DJ. But the dude that I knew more, he was closer to my age. But in school, he was just a very quiet, shy, like short, another short guy, stature.
Yeah.
And I never knew anything about this dude until way after I was already living over here. And I just happened to go home one time and like ran into him. And then he was with somebody, and then the dude was like, you should check him out. He's got equipment. And I was like, Rob, you got gear? And he was like, yeah. And I went to his crib. The dude had like two 808s, 909, big mixing console. He had some Moogs. And I was just like, he said, yeah, I've had all the stuff since high school. My dad, he bought me all these things. And dude knows how to mix and master perfectly. So like I actually put one of his tracks out on a kind of compilation album I did some years ago. But it's like the same thing. I was like, Rob, please give me more because he makes good stuff. And he already knows what he's doing, but just quiet. No one ever knew nothing about him. Yeah. At all. He's still there in Kalamazoo. And I'm like, Rob, please, man, send me some. But he doesn't. So I'm like, I can't figure it out. I'm like, golly, it's like he could really, especially if he did a live, he could really go somewhere far, but just sitting there with all that equipment.
Yeah. I know some people like that, man. I know I got one good friend that he started making music before I did. And he was DJing way before I was. And just some people have things that they kind of like it where they're at, like their comfort zone. And it's kind of might be a little difficult for them to adjust to what's going on in that industry world and to get their stuff seen and heard. They don't want to step out there,
because I often wonder about that. It takes something about you that when you're, because that's the thing, I'm thinking, man, these guys are way beyond me.
Yeah.
But maybe actually maybe in their mind I'm way behind them because I'm taking the bravery to put myself out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because not every track you make is good, and
Yeah,
not all the time. But the simple act of put it out there and actually pioneer, go and do it. Right. Attitude, like let's just get this out there. Let's see what happens, and don't be scared and get it done. You know, because these dudes were never going to any parties. They never came to any of our events. They never just went up to Chicago to go to the record store. You know, Myles and I back in the day, we would go to Chicago, just go to the record store sometimes. And then later, of course, we go to a party because we're already there and hang out. But these guys would never do that. But I just thought, man, wow, I can't wrap my head around that sometimes. Like,
I think it goes back when you guys were saying that you got to have the mindset to be able to do it. A lot of
yeah.
Like I make music, but the other aspect, it's more than making music. It's you have to have that personality, you know, to do it. And I think a lot of people don't. It's like this crazy thing. Like I forgot this guy's name. It's been so long, but remember, I think you met him before, D. In it was the guy from Grand Rapids. And he was the normal guy, had a 9-to-5 job. If you seen him, you would have no clue that he liked electronic music. It was even a part of it. In some kind of way, I don't know, he came up to somebody. We might have had a party that Kiko threw, or some kind of way we found out that this guy actually was one of the first people other than I can't even think now, other than Rob Hood to actually like release on Axis. He did a couple of releases like on a CD thing. It was more like atmospheric type stuff, but he was on the label, and I'm like, what? And he lived in that. It's crazy. Like nobody knew. We didn't know. And like I seen, it could have been like the guy, like a teacher guy or a guy a normal guy, and then come to find out, he's been releasing, but he never had that other aspect of like that. You know, it was almost kind of hidden. You know what I mean? Yeah. To have that personality to go forward with it. And I think he did put something out, but I do think there's a lot of people that you have to have that. You got to have that drive. You have to be able to take that leap to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I had one question.
Yes, sir.
So, Myles, who's your favorite artist?
Of all time?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I do like. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. So I think it varies. Out of the Michael Jackson Prince thing, I would pick Prince, just because of the musicality of it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, which is crazy, because I was just talking about this last week. So you ever hear, like, if you listen to the radio or you might be doing something, you ever hear a song, you're like, damn, this sounds like a Prince song.
Right.
But it ain't Prince, but Prince wrote it, like Manic Monday. That's a Prince song.
Yep.
Absolutely. He wrote that.
What the hell? Because you just kind of like the melodies and how it is. And it's a Prince. He's wrote so many songs that your average person, you would never think. But you look at the credits, oh yeah, that's Prince. Or if he didn't use his name, it was fake, you know.
Yeah, some name, he
made up. But Prince did a lot of stuff. And then we were talking about the drum machines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did a lot of stuff that people don't know. So I would say Prince. We got similar likes because I also like Stevie Wonder. Just stuff like I see, Stevie Wonder. And there's somebody else too. I just can't think on top of my head. You got me right now, but those two, man. I like Miles Davis.
Right.
Miles Davis, like fusion stuff.
Right.
Like the other early is not my thing, but the fusion stuff where like, damn, he must be high as fuck. You know what I mean? That I could get into because it makes me start to think like, what was he thinking, or what was he not thinking, but what he thought he was thinking. You know, what I mean? Just how, the experimentation thing. That's dope shit, man. Like, to sit there and just come up with some stuff, and I'm sure it was like all on the fly. I think.
He was with he was with Columbia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like this first. He was like the Jay-Z at that time. He was the superstar. He would go on his binges. Nobody saw him, He down in the gutter. Then he come back with an album for Columbia. Then he got a Maserati somewhere. Like
Right.
he's like, he was doing this like through the years. This guy is no joke. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of my thing, man. People like I don't have like a one person, but I got like a kind of like a category.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool though.
Yeah.
To kind of vary it up.
So let's ask this question amongst ourselves. What let's say a female. Is there a female artist that we all would say we like the most? Our favorite female artist? Because we all said a guy, but is there a female?
Let me go last on this because I gotta think.
It can be anything, rapping, jazz, or whatever.
You asked Myles that, right?
All of us. I want us all to think, like, all of us to think, like, is there a female artist that you would say, oh, she's my favorite female artist?
I got one, but it's kind of like disruptive. Like, I mean, because I think she kind of got to be in the ballpark of the conversation.
What was that?
If you go back all the way to now, I mean, I could tell by the men that you picked, there's a certain thing I think you got to give Erykah Badu some. I started to look at her because she has a lot to do with the creation of the music. This is why I'm giving her that. She's not just writing. She's just not singing songs by somebody else or making music with other people's beats. She's really like separated herself amongst a lot of other female artists in different genres.
Yep. She's
totally involved as an artist in her music. So I give her a lot of credit for that.
For me, I'm gonna say Sheila E.
I'll come back to that.
All
right. Yeah.
I had to. Sheila E. was. I used to listen to a lot of her stuff.
Yeah,
they're kind of similar though.
Mm-hmm.
In the aspect of what Joey was saying about the creation of music, they're really similar. Just different time era, you know what I mean? I can see that.
But Erykah, I'm definitely rocking with Erykah. But I just going with Sheila E. because it's when I was really young, I was listening.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Associated with Prince, she was already,
Yeah. I go back to I'll pick my person, but Erykah, I seen her a few years ago. That was probably the best concert I've ever been to, hands down.
Yeah, you see?
And just all around, just music, the sound, the creativity, the stage presence. And she was like this, it's like the cool older sister type vibe.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? She's doing her thing. She up there, she had her MPC hitting pass and playing.
That's what I'm saying,
Dope.
She experiments. She could do it in the studio. She could go live. She experiment. A lot of women, I don't see that by a lot of other females on that level.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I could probably agree with you. If I had to pick like current, it might be Erykah.
Yeah.
I can pick Erykah as that. As far as everything you said, and I really like her, like especially like when you see her like in interviews. I'll go her, and if I had to pick a second, like on that vibe, probably like maybe like Jill Scott or somebody.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just kind of know what they know, and they know their music. They know what they vibe, and they know what they want. You know what I mean? And it's not like they're sitting there listening to somebody tell them what to do.
Yeah,
it's far from that. You know what I mean? And I mean, this is going back to Erykah. Other than this album that I don't even know if it dropped yet. Her and the Alchemist thing that was supposed to drop. I know there was talk and there was supposed to be a release date, and they thought it dropped, but it didn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on with it. But
that's recently?
This was supposed to drop like last year.
Oh.
Early this year or like late last year. Her and Alchemist supposed to drop an album. They did a show that they did over one of the Mobb Deep beats, but whatever happened with that. But the album was supposed to come out, and I seen her right before that in Detroit, and like I said, it was killing. But that's one of the only people besides Lauryn Hill that can basically tour off like basically 1 or 2 albums.
Hey, right.
You know what I mean? And they haven't done well. Yeah, that's it. So I know what I'm going to see. If I'm going to see Erica, I want to see her again. She was in Detroit like a month or 2 ago.
Right.
She's back again like soon. But I know it's going to be a different vibe. It's the same music, but it's going to be different.
Yeah.
So for you to continue to do that on like 1 or maybe 2 albums, and then in Lauren's case, it's really 1 unless she does something with the Fugees, but that's it. And that's crazy, man. You know? That's crazy as hell.
Yeah.
But again, you know, they did a lot of things, and Lauren too. You know what I mean? For her, he broke down a lot of barriers, and
straight up.
So one more, guys. What about techno? You gotta pick your favorite techno artist, or let's say, okay, it ain't gotta be favorite, but someone you would say that, okay, I'm picking this person because I could play his tracks and most of his tracks in my set, or her tracks in my set, or just. But if you had to pick that one techno person, I think say house, say techno.
I think off the hand probably be Jeff for me.
Okay.
I don't I mean, I think Jeff Mill is the pharaoh of that shit, but I don't really have a favorite techno artist.
Okay. For me,
I do think Jeff Mill is the biggest thing, but I don't have a favorite techno artist though.
Yeah.
I like too many. I like too many techno.
Yeah, it's a lot of them.
It's a lot. Like,
but I mean, if you gotta be like, okay, like I'm gonna pick this dude because somebody that stands out in your mind. The sound.
I don't have one.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'll go. For me, I'm gonna say Rob Hood.
All right.
That's the same. Oh, bro.
It's the same camp, but just two different. Because I know the story. Like I spend a lot of time with Mike Banks. That's emerged, and I always hear stories, and a lot of the stories that he tells me, like the stuff him and Jeff Mills went through, and Rob Hood, is very similar to with me, my cousin Jay, and Chance, and Fanon, and this kind of happened in Kalamazoo the same way. Like, oh, Jeff. He moved into an apartment, and we start making music in his apartment. I was like, this is the same thing. I moved into an apartment. Jay was coming over, and making music in the apartment. Couldn't really turn it up. Chance, he had very minimal studio, like Rob, because it was the same thing with Rob. Basically, I think they gave him like just one sequencer, a drum machine, and one keyboard, and that's why he had this sound. But with Jeff, I like Jeff's stuff, but I feel like with Rob's stuff, it's easier for me to mix it in a DJ set. Probably because just, sample the same. And especially if the turntables aren't perfect or something, some weird's going on. I know I can throw on a Rob Hood track and mess with the pitch bend easy. With Jeff's, I might have a little something, but no, I love Jeff Mills stuff, but it's just like Rob, I don't know, something with them rhythms and them sounds. It just
you know what I like about? Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say to add about Robert Hood. You know what I like about him? That in the interview he said they asked him, what do you be thinking about? What inspired you? He said Guru, like from
Was that?
You understand? So it's a very interesting point of view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Guru, yeah. Oh yeah.
He says he was trying to mimic how he felt from listening to Guru. That's something else, but like quote unquote techno lover. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because most techno dudes, we grew up in hip hop anyway. You start out scratching on turntables like Qbert and Jazzy Jeff. I mean, for me, Jazzy Jeff is the reason why I ended up with 1200s in the first place, and then later Jazzy Jeff was the reason why I jumped on Ableton Live and started making music and they would lie, because Jazzy Jeff was like, pretty much one of my favorite DJ, him and Cash Money, back in the days. But yeah, Guru, man, when I'm thinking about that,
find it to be very interesting. Like you go to like Germany or Europe, and you be like, where they like carry the flag of techno, and it's like, do you know that Robert Hood, one of the main top techno dudes, his inspiration for techno is hip hop.
Right.
I would like to see how they respond to that.
Yeah. But I mean, Guru, I think he, especially in Paris, a lot of them underground dudes like Guru. Especially the hip hop. Even here in Poland too, there's a huge hip hop, community over here. They, even the sound. I mean, now I'm kind of like, I wish they would stop doing it, because the beats that they're making is mimicking what they do down in Atlanta. And then even they're rapping in Polish in that same kind of, rhythm.
Right.
So it's like, maybe, beats, keep maybe, but do your own kind of style of rapping. Because then sometimes they try to rap in English too, which there's a couple of them over here that's really good. They can rap in both Polish and English.
I can't mess with that, brother. I done heard some weird sounding, like that stuff in England and London, they be rapping.
Well, England, I don't know what they do.
I'm going to this. My two favorite right now rappers from England would be Sonny Jim.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, oh man, they're gonna kill me right now. I can't. I get to see this getting old when you forget shit.
Oh yeah, you get it. Oh yeah.
Oh man. It didn't come to me in a second though. But there's a couple of English people that's dope, man. But it all depends. What they're doing their own thing. They're not trying to like mimic.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
When you try to mimic stuff, it don't work. Man. It don't work.
Just do your own thing, so I can appreciate your artistry. Like it's like, do your stuff, your sound from your country. That's what I was just saying here. They have slamming beats, but don't try to imitate that. Rap in a Polish way. Like there's a couple dudes here. I said
there's some dudes in
here. There's some dudes over here that actually rap in English too, and they sound really. I was surprised. I was thinking, whatever. When I heard them, I was like, whoa, okay, it actually sounds. You can tell they're on it. Like they're studying. They grew up in it, because I think, man, hip hop's been over here for a long time. When I'm thinking about it now, like even way before I even came over here, they had their own scene, and they were already bringing people over from America all the time for concerts. I know Ice-T was coming over here back in the day, a lot. So
Roots Maneuver. Poland. There you go. I had to throw that before I said Roots Maneuver.
But somebody says, wasn't Robert Hood in a rap group, or did he just do MC for UR?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if he was. I know I was in a rap group in high school.
That's a good question.
It's as a DJ. I wasn't rapping, but he could have been. That's very possible back in high school for people to be in some kind of posse or, rap group or something, and then everybody splits off and does their thing.
You know, I heard Robert Hood play at Output in New York. You remember when Output was going on in New York?
Mm-hmm.
I played after him actually, and I just was listening to him for like 40 minutes. They come from the old school black style of DJing. It's like he was just rocking the beat, just rocking, like it wasn't even it wasn't even coming from a person, it was coming from a force, you know what I'm saying? That's that old school style of DJs from back in the day, the blending. You didn't know what was going off or coming on. The beats was just total atmospheric rocking, like, you know what I mean? And I was like, I can't mess with this dude. Like this, you know, I don't play like that. And he was just like a force, like a total
Mhm.
force, like
It's
coming.
that music energy. We call it that, back then we call it that music energy. When it sticks to
Yeah,
you, it identifies with you and it starts to use you to make
yeah.
the sound come out. Cause it's like, I try to explain this to people that what's this boy? Now I can't think of his name. Pharrell, how he says it is true. The idea is it's already there. It's because you
Yeah.
happen to show up. It decided to present itself through you, this energy of this music, and once it's on you, as long as you, like Timberland says, as long as you keep participating and practicing, it stays with you.
Yeah.
So that sound, that Robert Hood sound, even that way of DJing, that's with him, because he keep doing it. It could jump to somebody else if he
Mm.
was to stop it, because you could look up and be like, dang, this guy is similar to him. Like if I hear some rapper
Yeah.
someday, sometimes, man, he's like Tupac. He's got the swagger and okay, so the energy just jumped to him. But that's what it is at Forest. But I know what you mean, man, because back then I remember traveling around with my cousin Jay Denham. I used to watch him DJ at different places in Germany or whatever. It was like this forest. I can't even describe it.
Yeah.
They called it jacking, and they just be going on for 2 or 3 hours picking up the record, and you just be like, what is going on here? Like I'm witnessing a whole. This is just something beyond, the heavens or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't even know. They just playing, and
Right.
actually making music while they're DJing or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, it's that energy, and that's something you just can't describe, but that is there. And then if you keep coming around, it gets to you. Then you got your own thing going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, man, back in the days when we used to go to them raves, it
Mm.
was just different. Like now, if I go to a party and I just see somebody standing behind a CDJ static, and it's, some of them could be what you say good, but it's like it's not good. Like when I was going to them Richie Hawtin parties in the cornfields back in the days, or them illegal raves in Chicago or Detroit, seeing somebody like Billy Bob coming on his fake horse stick or something, in his pajamas, but jacking the party. You know what I mean? Like, just a good. There were some people that didn't go that far, but they only played in them little circuits, but they were really good. Like when I went to Iowa one time, I played with these dudes that booked me, and they had this one dude named Tim. He never went much further than that, but that night at the party is the same thing. I was like, I got to go after him, and he on 3 decks.
Right.
He was just. I was like, wow, this is something. But it's like, yeah, like you said, this vibe. I wish parties could be like that now, where maybe take the CDJs down, just leave the turntables there, or make it so they can't put the sync on the CDJs, because I don't mind. I want people to mess up. I don't mind if the beats go off, but I want this, only the only vibe the turntables can give you or something. You know what I mean? Like the surprise of, okay, let's see how this goes. We don't know what's going on. I actually got to work. I can't just hit sync and just stand there, because then it's going to be a different energy. If the computer is syncing everything up, then energy is just. But when you got to put the human stuff in it, okay, now you're getting that guy. So you made me think about that when you said that Rob Hood. I can even visualize this and feel it.
Yeah.
Without being there.
I got a question for you. And then what the time? What's already at? Yeah. Wrap it up a little bit.
Good conversation.
Yeah, it was. It's like this is flying by, you know what I mean? So you've been doing this like just as for a while. Success, and you are where you are, great music and all that. Like, do you think, like, is it anything like right now, like musically, that you're chasing right now that you didn't chase like maybe like 10 years ago? Like, has something changed, like,
like musically?
Musically, yeah, we'll go musically.
Yeah. I think they're just exploring more and in different areas that I didn't do before. Like I may use two effect pedals and just make focus on those two pedals for a period of time. Maybe with a synth, and try to like I think I touched upon this earlier, but not to this question, and just focus on what I can make, what I can get out of that sound or sound quality from those two effects pedals with that synth. Years ago, I was just running through tracks, record, dance tracks, dance tracks, dance tracks, dance tracks. I didn't think about moods and settings and themes, and that thing now I really going in that direction, not forgetting about dance music, but just going in that direction for the sake of exploration and discovery. I think I'm kind of like really hungry about that. If it answers your question, I don't know if that's what you was asking. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I think me personally, I'm in that same boat. Like I was telling a couple of shows ago, like somebody asked me what I got planned for the future.
Right.
Like I've never officially like had like an album.
Right.
And I think that's my goal for next year. I'm gonna do one more release on MS, and Culture City is just pretty much stacked up with other artists stuff. But I've never like sat down, and you were speaking when you and Dinah was talking about earlier about having like I think you're talking about the chord on the back.
Yeah.
Having like that one machine, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I found myself like I got sound even turned on. I'm not even gonna lie. I barely, if I'm not working my job or doing this, whatever, like the music aspect, like I got a couple of remixes people want me to do, and I'm supposed to project, but I can't find the time, you know what I mean? And I think that's one thing for me. But this album thing, I really want to do it, but I actually want to like make it simple and just basic. So that for me, like, you know, so I get your answer. Like that's something for me. Like I need to sit down and just expand and explore. You know what I mean? And just really go deeper into stuff. So you know, I've been thinking that. Like I hear like you guys' music done. These music has changed over the years. It's still, but it's more complex. And I don't know if I told you it or not, D. But to me, you got really more complex stuff going on. And I think that in my music, just my style of what I do, I think I don't look at it as a downfall, but it's something that I know that I need to go a little more complex than what I'm doing now. So I think for me, that's something I'm trying to think back. And part of my question now, I'm not even just kind of rambling, but like the question I asked you is like I'm actually can put that and apply it to myself. You know what I mean? So yeah. But yeah, it was based on your answer because you said a few things. I'm like, yeah, that I should be doing. I need to do that. So, yeah.
Ableton will help you get there.
Yeah, there you go.
You get more complex with Ableton.
Yours now for what? How much is it? Discount code D-KNOX right there. Let's do it, man. We need to get that, yo.
Pooja, does she work there?
Yeah, yo, she said she gonna look into it. We'll see what happens. So.
She working there. I would like Pooja. I know you're not watching, but maybe if you happen to see it, I would like a tour of that place. I would just like to get inside the building.
Yeah.
Even if I just see the coffee machine, but just to even take a photo. I'm here in Ableton. You know?
Right.
I would love that because that software. Thanks, guys. Ableton team. Thank you. I love Fruity Loops too. I made a lot of records on that, but Ableton, thanks a lot.
There you go. That's our weekly Ableton plug right there, y'all. Oh man. So D, you got a last question?
No, not really a question. I just wanted to, take time, say thanks, man, for taking time on your Sunday to talk with us.
It was a nice conversation.
Yeah, maybe we have to do a part part two with you and somebody else. You know, because sometimes we think of ideas, let's do a part two, but maybe we'll have him with some, this guest with somebody else or something, or the same time, or because there's a lot more we could ask and talk about.
Oh yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I would love to get you and Q together, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Q's a hard one. I gotta see.
Yeah.
Q's moody. Moody.
Q. This place, the Great Beyond. We played at that festival there, and I hadn't seen him in years. He kind of popped up. I was like, "Oh, what up, man?" And then he disappeared. So that was back then in Minneapolis, man. So shouts out to Q, man, and all y'all doing your thing out there.
Yeah, thanks.
And we definitely got to do a part two because I got some other questions.
Yeah, it was nice. Thank you. Thanks again for thinking of me and bringing me on to your show.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That.
I appreciate you.
Nice vibe.
Yeah, and we didn't catch up because, like I said, I haven't talked to you in what
years, man.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. But you know how it is.
Yeah. Our life and everything else, man.
Yeah, trying to stay creative, life.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if one last thing, we'll get that. What would you have to say to anybody up and coming producers? What's your words of wisdom, Joey Anderson's words of wisdom?
Stay focused and keep being persistent. Keep active. Keep working on your craft. That's the best thing I would tell them. Keep working on your craft.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's give it up for Joey Anderson, bro. So, you got anything coming up real soon people need to know about?
I think I'll be playing in New York in a couple of weeks, like a few weeks. You should see a flyer pop up.
Okay.
I think I'm playing with Q. But in the next couple of weeks in New York and Brooklyn.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So make sure y'all check it. Go over to his socials. There's links in the description. Go check him out. Follow the music. Follow the movement.
Yeah.
Follow him. And if you're in New York, go and then playing next week or something. Go check it out. Y'all won't be disappointed for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
I'll be in contact with you soon, man.
Have a good one, babe.
All right. Yep.
Peace, man.
Peace.
All right. Later.
Good interview, D. Good interview, man.
Yeah, I think sometimes, it just takes a little bit. Once people warm up, they open up, and then we are able to get more out of people. Because it's good, I think it's good for people to really get to know who our guests are when they come on the show. That's why it's great to have them talk and go further and deeper and really, really explain, or not explain, but like tell about themselves, who they are, in fact. So, yeah, it was good. Because, I learned a lot more about him today, than what I would have known just listening to his music or watching some videos.
For sure.
So that's why I think these talks are important and very interesting as well. Yeah.
That's for sure. Comment.
Robert Hink. I think I have that guy in my Instagram. That
this guy?
Hink guy. Let me see right now. Let me see if I think he's in my. I don't know him personally. But if he knows something about Ableton, that could be a good. Let's see here. Is he in my? No, this ain't the one. No way.
Okay.
It's a different guy, but maybe Studio. I got studio.robert.hank. That's probably him. That's probably who this guy is talking about. Tiles talking about here.
Yeah, Tyler, if you hit us behind the scenes, man, drop us if you got more contact or more information on Robert. Send it to us, man, an email.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that would be great. You could actually put us right in touch with him.
That would be great. Yeah. More on that. Oh.
So yeah, we need to talk to him.
Co-founder. Okay, cool.
Co-founder, is he still actively working there, or did he jump to Bitwig or something else? Let's see if he responds to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Co-founder, then yeah, we need this. Yeah, so please, guys, if you have a contact to him, please put us in touch. We'll also be trying to look for him, but it could be faster if you already have a contact and you can just link us. You can link us even on the social. Doesn't matter.
That's true. All right, let's get these things out the thing. We really thank everybody for tuning in and staying with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. We greatly appreciate that.
Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. It's free. Don't cost you nothing. Let people know that we're here and we're here. So hit that button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, especially the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to those numbers to get monetized, y'all. We are also labeled Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Also follow us on Instagram and Live with D-KNOX, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, at MS Live with D-KNOX. Email us, especially what we were talking about earlier about getting these different guests and stuff. That's the email. Hit us up, mslive@dknox@gmail.com. So, especially to Tao and whoever else was at, hit us there with the information. We greatly appreciate that. You can also support the show, mslive@dknox@gmail.com on PayPal. You can send donations to, or simply through that QR code that is there throughout the show, which is about to disappear now. But it's there, so make sure you guys do that. Oh, boom. He's also Mono Lake. Oh. Okay. Should help finding him. Okay. Great.
Robert Hank. Okay, I'll look for him on Instagram right now and follow him.
Trey said that he's also Mono Lake, so there you go. And I don't have a contact him, unfortunately. You guys are likely more connected than I am. Check out some of his talks, so okay, cool.
I guess it's the studio Robert Hank. Because I see Telma's following him, and okay, I'll follow him now. That's gotta be him. 30,000 followers. That's gotta be him.
Yeah, it's gotta be him. Yeah. Word. All right, cool. Quick other business. Me and D do DJ live performance and all that. So if you can head over to Position 2 Bookings. We are there. Hit us up. Me, Josh, FBK, Mike, Lee Holman, Tim Xavier now too. So hit us up.
Has joined us.
What's that?
Yeah, that's right. Tim has joined.
Yeah, Tim joined Roberto, Mike Darrow too. So hit us up, Position 2 Bookings. Go check out the roster. You can hit us up there for bookings. Head over to Sonic Mind Records, Donnell's Bandcamp page to go get them dope releases. Get them numbers up over there, y'all. So Sonic Mind over at Bandcamp. Go to my page on SoundCloud, hit this playlist somewhere in podcasts. That's a podcast I do whenever I decide to do a mix on my own. It's there. So podcast over there on SoundCloud, my SoundCloud page. The link is floating around somewhere. Go support our friends over at Decisive Podcast Series on YouTube. That's Roberto's podcast, Roberto Ingram, friend of the show. Go over there, send them a say love. Like, subscribe to the channel. Next show is Sunday, August 23. So we're taking a week off. Sunday, August 23, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. CET. We got the mighty Detroit Techno Militia, the full crew. Angie was going to join too, but We got the crew. We're gonna be there. Sunday, August 23. So make sure you guys check it out and don't miss it. And when we're at the end of the show, check out the sponsors. These two people here, Melissa and Mark. Melissa's Lincoln Street Soap, and Mark is Pound Michigan Beer. You can check them out. If you're over at Lincoln Street Soap, put in promo code, I believe MS Live, save 15% off. Soap is dope. Mark, I don't know what Mark's doing, but he's just there. So go check him out. Ooh, yeah, man. So D, you know what time? Oh, wait, a couple more comments. Then we get out of here. Oh, ciao, word.
Still talking the same.
Yeah. It's the studio. So right, okay, cool. All right,
we
cool.
followed them.
We got them. All right, D, you know what to do.
And you know what time it is, people. So, for the week, let your mind be free, be at ease, do your daily meditation, and do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Please. Peace, love, and hair grease, like they used to say on Soul Train.
There you go.
I had no double horns today, just a bunny rabbit.
There you go. Yeah. It might come up because I'm still waiting, but it's not. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Till then, peace.
Ta-da.